Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Aston Martin Road to Glory here in F1 22. This is the final race before the season break for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, before we jump into today's action, go check out the last episode guys, link in the top right. Spoilers are ahead, so go watch it and then come back to this one before we jump into the business. So, as you can see in the background, we have a marketing department event, and this is going to be a continuation of something we took care of in the last episode, where essentially we got given a choice in which I chose to do a charitable cause, and I gained a bit of driver acclaim for it. So also to go with that, as you know, in the last race we had an issue with the ERS during the race at Paul Ricard, and we got an actual pretty fat bonus of 320 R&D points extra. So we're going to go ahead and spend that on the engine side of things because we have the power circuits coming up very soon. So I want to try and see if we can level these things up a little bit, especially because, you know, we've got the season break after this. So I want to try and get that done before Spa and Monza. So yeah, with that said, we're going to jump into things at Budapest. And I'm going to be honest, we don't really have a great track record at Hungary. So I'm not particularly excited or have high expectations for this weekend. As you can see, we have no upgrades on, so we're not going anywhere, we're not moving anywhere. Has to bring a pretty big package. However, we have now 4 huge upgrades on the way. If they arrive, that will move us once again right into that midfield fight, and that could potentially be a big boost for us. Now, jumping into practice, you can see we're on the mediums going through the race strategy program as always. This is key because it will give you data for the race in terms of what fuel to run, also, you know, what tyre we're expected to have and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we went ahead and took care of it. We had slightly higher tyre wear than planned, but for the most part it wasn't too bad, and I'm actually going to basically increase my tyre pressures, so that will be more manageable in the race and not so much of a problem. So we also gained a bunch of discounts as we finally have unlocked some more upgrades, so we can get some discounts applied to those, which is going to be a really good thing for us. But with that said, we're going to move into qualifying here at Budapest, and a track which I've struggled with historically in qualifying. I don't really have that great pace around here, and just knowing the traits of this car being the worst in the chassis, extremely poor in aero, it doesn't sound like a good mix. So I'm not, you know, super optimistic. Nonetheless, we're going to give it our best. And to be fair, the setup I was running felt really good. We invalidate our first time the lap, which was a bit unfortunate. We've got a little bit of engine wear as well. But once again, I'll show you guys a little trick. So if you need ERS, drop the car down to neutral and basically rev the throttle a bit, and it will instantly recharge your battery in a matter of moments. Just make sure you keep your speed over 55 kilometers an hour. And that way you'll get ERS recharge in literally an instant. So yeah, as I was saying, we've got a little bit of engine wear that we're having to deal with as the turbocharger and the MG UK, I believe, are a little bit worn out. Not going to be an issue though around here because this isn't really our power circuit. But anyway, getting the lap underway, we're going to see if we can improve. We've got the delta from that previous lap up until the invalidation as kind of a reference, so we know if we're on a good or a bad lap. And you can see we're pretty much matching it identical. So yeah, pretty decent second attempt to actually find a chunk of time on the exit, and now we're in the unknown as we unfortunately again invalidate just a couple of corners later, and that is going to put this first run in the mud, which is really unfortunate. So yeah, definitely not ideal. I went back to the pits, put on a fresh set of tyres, and we're going to try and go again. Currently last place. Can we get off the bottom of the table? We're about to find out. So DRS open as we head down to turn 1 once again. For this one, spot the braking, approx the 100 meter board as your reference, or the curb on the left, down to 4th gear for me, and then I do run it in a bit too deep. I outbroke myself a little bit, tried too hard to brake late, and it compromised the exit. Into turn 2, braking on a straight line, and then trying to focus on getting the exit, which as you can see gains me a bunch of time compared to the delta, and we essentially recover the lost time at turn 1. Over the crest at turn 3 or 4, I believe it is, and unfortunately again another invalidation. I'm just trying too hard, I'm overdriving, trying to extract every bit of time out of the car, and it's costing us dearly. So this is it, I've got enough fuel and tyres for just one more attempt, so we have to make this count as we try one more time. So braking at the curb, down to 4th, this time I brake a bit earlier, we get the apex, and exit not the best. I was a bit hesitant on the throttle. So we're essentially doing a carbon copy of our previous lap up until this point. Through turn 2, again, we get the exit right, and yet again we mimic that previous lap as we're recovering the lost time, and we're going to be up in sector 1 by a fraction. into now sector 2, over the left, this time keeping it in track limits, slight snap on oversteer, but we keep it under control. Through the long right, on the power, on the curb, and now into the chicane. Third gear, flick it right, flick it left, smooth on the throttle as we now go into the long sweepers. Very important here to not invalidate as we've done before. As you can see, this time keeping it well within track limits, and we're flying, matching our previous best through here. Didn't quite get all the apex, but this time we keep it within bounds as we are literally matching Joe in P16. Into now sector 3, 90-degree right. This is my strongest corner on the track. Now into the slow penultimate corner left-hander. Short shifting, a double short shift to 5th actually, to get the drive, and now staying nice and tight through the final corner as we short shift again, opening up the DRS up to the line. Are we into Q2? Not quite. P16, and we're out of qualifying yet again. But that is actually a very good lap. I'm quite happy, and that was an encouraging performance, to be honest with you. Looking at Lance as well in P20, we out-qualify him by 0.3, and usually, if our qualifying pace is strong, which is rare, our race pace is usually stronger. So this could actually be a bit of a surprise turn-up for us, and we may actually be relatively competitive this weekend. A few things to note. We was 0.2 off from getting through, so realistically, I don't think I could have got through on a perfect lap. That was pretty much it. But I'm happy that I nailed it. Considering the 3 failed attempts, that was a pretty good lap under pressure. Bad news, Albon got through, which isn't ideal, but yeah. Either way, P16, I'll take it, and we're now going to move into the race and see if we can somehow score a point.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of Formula One action. Historically, a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile track, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. So let's hope we're in for another one here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Sainz, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Ocon and Pierre Gasly, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda and Hamilton, Albon, Martinez, Guan Yu Zhou and Lance Stroll, Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
I'm not going to lie, I think actually we've got some great pace here this weekend. I think we've got a chance, not to maybe get points. I think that might be a bit far-fetched, but I think we can definitely be competitive and maybe look for a top 12. I'd like to get points, but I think that's going to be tough. It's going to be very dependent on strategy. So we're going to start on the medium and then move to the hard tyre. Pretty straightforward. No big surprises there. Fuel-wise, I'm going to try and go a bit lower. I'm going to go for literally 35 exactly, which should be fine. Tyre pressures, I'm going to keep the same as qualifying. It worked pretty well, so I'm not going to try too hard. I might go a click on the rears, but I think for the most part, actually, let's go for it. Let's gamble. Let's go a bit higher on all of them, and let's see if we can take a bit of a positive step and maybe improve in tyre wear, and that might help us out long run. Either way, this isn't going to be a classic. Hungary never really is. Overtakes aren't really a theme here, but I'll try my best to make it a fun race for you guys to watch, and hopefully we get a result to cap it all off. Perfect. Right, let's get to it. Hopefully. A good start would be nice. Stroll on softs. We'll have to watch out for him. There we go. Not a bad start, to be fair. That's one of my better ones. Pretty much matching everybody else as we head down to turn 1. Gonna go through the middle here. Stroll pokes his nose up the inside. Don't entirely mind as he is on a soft tyre. I won't try to cost him too much time. So we'll let, you know, a bit of respect be on the table, as is our teammate. So I'm not gonna go too crazy. Let's see, maybe Stroll can force a move or make a bit of space and we can have a little look as such. And there's damage for Stroll. So forget about that. And kind of, you know, friendly team games. We've got to make some moves. Stroll defends. We're going to just go around the outside though. We can't afford to give him any space. So thank you very much, Lance. You've just given me 3 places and doing all the dirty work for me. So we can now drive off. He's holding up all the cars, which is even better. So we can just crack on here. Let's try and get back within a second of the cars ahead, which is going to be critical. But that is a perfect start in my book.
Lance is in for his stop.
So Lance will be a long way back. There's also a Haas in the pit lane. But we now have a nice healthy gap to the cars behind. Let's just try and make sure we can close in on these 2 ahead. Hamilton battling his former teammate in Valtteri Bottas. They're also battling an Alpine at the same time. I said I felt my pace was good, and I'd say now, thanks to that start, we may have a chance at some points. But it's still going to be complicated because the cars ahead are pretty much all faster. So it's not going to be cut and dry. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, McLaren off, Ricciardo.
Okay, clear.
Thank you very much. 18-0 from Lando, who once again leads the race. McLaren showing their pace.
DRS is being enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Meanwhile, Bottas, Hamilton going at it again. This time Hamilton gets through and we have DRS. But the McLarens, man, looking strong. Of course, Lando retired in France from the race lead. Who knows if they could have won that race. And Lando leads yet again. So McLaren is showing real strong pace this season with the upgrades. But we're now in this race, which is excellent. Oh my god, multiple battles up ahead. Something is happening because there's a big train of cars being led by a Ferrari at the front. So there's a scrap ongoing, and it's going to have a trickle effect where it just, you know, works its way down. Hamilton, Alonso battling, recreating their 2021 scrap. Hamilton this time gets the upper hand as Alonso's on the soft. So those soft tyres may be starting to struggle. But the AI are losing time here. Someone maybe has damage. There's a bit of a time loss going on. Bottas a bit slow off the corner there. Going to have a little look, but he actually goes for a move on Alonso instead. This is not ideal. This is going to cost us valuable time. And it's a roadblock where I can't go anywhere. Ricciardo behind, lurking as well. Got to be careful. Delicate situation here. Ricciardo's going to go for the move. He's a lot faster than me, so I'm not too concerned. Let's see if we can make a move. Alonso's going to be vulnerable here without DRS. Oh, that was a big snap. Doesn't help. Right, let's try and see if I can stretch my legs a little bit. Ricciardo looking for a move. A bit wide. Ricciardo tries again but fails. Bottas nowhere near getting a pass on Alonso, which was a bit of a surprise. Ricciardo's faster than me. I'm not going to fight.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Ocon in trouble. I can't overtake. It's funny because this always happens. The AI can overtake under yellow flag, but I can't. So Ricciardo there gets a valid pass. Even though I let him go,
Green flag.
he's not going to get punished for that. Whereas I could have re-overtaken there when he made that mistake. He's faster than me anyway, so there's no point in trying to fight. I'm trying to save battery, and me just basically staying in front is forcing me to use it to defend for no reason. So I just want to try and stick with him here. He'll probably put Bottas under pressure. But we're in the race here for the battle for points. Just got to stay patient, play the long game. Right now I'm trying to just get the batteries recharged a little bit.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
I wonder. Is that for Ocon? I also wonder if we can get a set of tyres to the end. No, Verstappen's out. Oh my god, another one. Another reliability issue for Red Bull.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
The AI are not going to stop. What's my tyre wear? I might give this a go, you know.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Let's give it a go. Try and go to the end on hards. See what happens. Alright, excellent pit entry. We'll also save fuel now, which will get rid of those issues so we can push flat out to the end. Lovely, 2.4, good stop. And we're going to rejoin in clean air. P14, going to the end.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
Alonso on mediums, which suggests 2-stop. Perez on hards, going to the end, so that suggests it is possible. Let's see, this is going to be very interesting. I might actually be thankful now for those higher tyre pressures, although 20% on mediums after 8 laps is a bit high. I'll have to do some maths to see if that's a concern or not. I just did a bit of math, and it's easy to get these tyres to the end, no concerns. Do an approximation. I've done 8 laps on mediums, which equate to about 20% wear. If you times that by 4, which is 36 laps, it's a whole race on mediums, that's around 80% tyre wear. So, yeah, it's fine. We're not doing a whole race on mediums, we're doing, you know, 25 laps on hard, so we'll be fine. Time for the restart. Going to lose a bit of tyre temp here, as we're going so slow, it's going to be literally impossible to warm up the tyres. And there we go. Got a bit caught out there, but we'll catch up okay. We can now also wheel spin, which is crucial for tyre warm up. Right.
Okay, clear.
We're going to get 2 laps of AI basically burning the batteries like crazy. So we're just going to have to try and compete with that for the time being, and then hopefully things will level out. Also, we'll have a slight disadvantage, especially versus, you know, those on mediums in this initial warm-up phase, but hopefully we'll get through the worst of it in 2 or 3 laps time, and then we can just start to compete and basically try and stay with the pack and get these tasks to the end. Alonso looking racy on that medium straight away, of course, versus Perez on the hard tyre. Oh, Alonso getting squeezed by Checo. These two are battling aggressively here. I don't really want to get involved. You can visibly see Alonso's got pace, especially on that fresh medium, so there's no real point trying to, you know, get ahead of him. He's going to stop again anyway. Ideally, I want to just try and stick with Checo if I can, which would be an excellent car to follow. But tyres feel fine. We've got temperature now, so we're looking pretty decent. We've also got plenty of fuel as well, so now it's all about just managing the tyres and getting them to the end of the race. Ideally, I want Alonso to get past here. I feel like he's faster than Checo, so we kind of need Alonso just to get the move done, and then things just to level out. Oh my god, 3 wide ahead. I think it's George Russell that's got probable damage, but it's not ideal. This is really affecting our race now, because this is going to ruin our strategy. Russell staying out though, so if he doesn't have damage, he's just driving really slowly as Albon overtakes him. And also we're just getting sucked into this multi-car battle, which is really not ideal. We're full Stroll defensive. We'll hold the inside. I'm just going to wait because the car should be pitting soon, and then we can just drive off into the clean air. Oh my god. Checo on Alonso. I'm going to just go for it. I'm sick and tired of wasting time. Checo's in the same strap. Let's try and see if we can beat him. Oh my god, Stroll's gone through on Perez. I wonder if Checo just made a mistake. Right, let's see what happens here. This is going to be interesting. This is for P10 actually, so this is for a point. Zhou goes for the move. Gasly in the pit lane. Alonso lurking. And Zhou locks up into 1. Oh, we just got boxed in there. Russell's got no DRS. Let's try and see if we can put a move on. Russell understeers with the damage. Oh, and he keeps understeering. We're going to go for it. was a nice move right there. Whew. Held my breath, but we had to get that done. And now Checo is stuck behind him for the remainder of this sector, so we'll try and pull away here. Alonso's passed Zhou and is driving off on that medium. Zhou, of course, yet to pit, so I'm looking for the move. Also, cars should be pitting very soon. But let's see if we can get the move on the Alfa Romeo here. He's actually got pretty decent pace, to be fair, to say he's on a old medium type. Let's see if we can go by. Here we go. Straight line speed is pretty abysmal. A little bit deep on the brakes, but you know what, we'll take it. Did just enough there, and that will get the move locked in. Checo is not exactly faster than me. I don't know if he's got slight damage or car trouble, but we can stay ahead of Checo this race. We've got the same pace as him. And there we go, cars finally in. Done us a bit of favour actually. There was a bit of a battle, multi-car battle, bit of a check-up. Everyone was losing time, which has brought us back into play. And look at this. Once the front two pit, if we clear Leclerc, which we just do, we're going to be net P2 behind Alonso, who has to stop again. So, technically speaking, I am the net race leader, which is why this strategy works out so well. Realistically, we're going to be behind Lando, who's got a healthy lead out front. Leclerc will also probably get by pretty quickly here. And just like that, the front two are in the pit lane. So let's see where they rejoin. I'm not going to fight Leclerc here. Zhou also pits, so we'll let Leclerc go and lose the least amount of time possible. So we're ahead of Sainz, behind Leclerc and Norris, which means we're net P3 right now. Let's see if we can try and play the long game. I've got a better pace than Checo, so I think we can keep him behind. So we're looking at probably a net P4 right now for this race, which would be awesome if we could match our best result. Right, Carlos Sainz arriving for company. Checo now 5 seconds adrift as Gasly on soft tyres is battling with him. So Pierre, I'm assuming we'll have to stop again. So this P4 is looking pretty wrapped up right now. Here comes Carlos. I'll let him take the race in line. I'd rather not have him go down the inside and probably lock up and just cost me time. So off you go, mate. I just wonder if I can keep up. Carlos isn't as fast as Leclerc. I think he's been struggling off a pace. I'll try to see if I can hang on to him for this lap. I'm guessing DRS. Okay, maybe not. Carlos, just a bit too fast for me. Not awfully fast, but just fast enough that I can't really match him, even when I push flat out. And there's Alonso in the pit lane, which we knew was going to happen, which will move us now into that confirmed P4. Let's see if we can hold it down. Gasly also pits, which means Checo once again is the nearest challenger. Behind him is Lewis Hamilton, both on hards, and we're keeping Checo at bay. He's now battling with Lewis, so that's going to cost them both a bit more time. Gap 6 seconds and growing. Trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Only 4/10 off a PB without DRS or battery use. I'm also recharging. Hamilton's flying. He's going to catch us. The question is, can we keep him behind? Probably not. Perez is still losing time. He's got Ricciardo for company, who just set the new fastest lap. I think realistically, P5 is probably on the table. I don't know if I'll be able to keep Lewis behind at that kind of pace, but I'll give it a shot. Ricciardo's up to P6 now. I'm just wondering, could it be a better option if I let Lewis go and try to follow him to maybe conserve a top 5 finish? I think that might be the better option, you know. He's so much quicker than me. Although that is just typical AI right there. I mean, no real time loss for me. I wasn't using battery anyway, so it doesn't really affect things too much. You can see Ricciardo's just catching so much. Wow. I was going to try and defend actually, but Hamilton's right there, so yeah. Go on, Lewis, do your thing, mate. Crack on. Just don't lock up, please, and just drive normally. I will try to keep up and stay within his DRS, because Ricciardo and Alonso are flying. Hamilton's pushing hard. Trying to hang on, but I don't think I've got enough. Just don't quite have the pace, man. I'm trying to punch above my weight with this car when I'm really not there yet. Right, this is going to be a personal best. I've got an idea. I'm pushing now. The reason being, Alonso's flying. Maybe Alonso can battle with Ricciardo, and they can just lose enough time that they essentially lose a bit of ground to me in the closing laps, and I can stay ahead. So I've got to push now to basically keep the gap as big as possible when they eventually start to battle. So we're going to use up all the reserves now and give it everything. I need Alonso to start battling. I'm out of battery now. Literally identical personal best lap. Trying really hard to keep the gap. Laps are slowly ticking over. Just need them to go like side by side for like 2 corners, and that might just give me a break. Second warning. Pushing flat out on the limit, literally everywhere right now. Got to try and defend now for 2 laps. Tyre air icon has also come on, so we're over 60% on these tyres. Let's see, I want to try and save the battery for the last lap, which is when the AI will use engine mode. Ricciardo not a threat into turn 1. I have to use a little bit on the exit here just to stay safe. Right, that'll do. Just got to try and survive the next pit straight next time round. Bit of a moment there. Not a bad exit. We might have just done enough here.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Nice, nice. Just got to hold on one more time. Better exit than last lap. Also got to just be careful here out of this one. Use all the remaining battery. Ricciardo pushing for it, but he's not going to get close enough. And that should do it. Just got to be careful now. Lando wins. A win that was taken away from him in France. This time he secures and locks down. Ferrari 2-3 with Sainz picking up the fastest lap. Hamilton P4, and we are going to come through for a phenomenal P5. Who said a Hungarian Grand Prix is boring? What a race, what a performance.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
It's a performance to be proud of from our Hungarian Grand Prix winners today. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Our drivers are making their way out to the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
And there you go then, that is your lot for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lando Norris with the victory, and that is refreshing to see, and it's always good to see McLaren win a race. Ferrari 2-3, Hamilton P4. We finished in the top 5, which is brilliant, and the pace, as you can tell by the fast lap, wasn't fully there, but we competed, we pulled off the strategy, we pit early and got the tyres to the end. We also beat Ricciardo to the punch, and also Alonso. Perez in 8th ahead of Albon, who scores points for Williams, so luckily we scored points today, and Magnussen in P10. Stroll just missed out in P11, could have been his first points of the season, ahead of Gasly, Bottas, Zhou, Schumacher, Tsunoda, Latifi, Russell, and then Verstappen at the race along with Ocon. So, in the standings, we jump into 11th with that second points finish of the season. So far, we've had a P4 and a P5. That's all we've had. No P10s, no P9s. Literally, we either strike gold or we get nothing. Sainz is your new championship leader, and in the constructors, we're up to 7th as we overtake Haas, which is massive. So really happy with that. Really, really good points finish. And we're only 4 points behind AlphaTauri, so the battle for 6th is on as we head to Belgium next in the second half of the season. So currently 13 rounds in, and things are looking up. It could be a tense final few races of the season, guys. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.